Well, hello, and welcome to my channel. Whether you're back again on purpose or got here on accident, you have to stay now. Sorry, I don't make the rules. Well, it has been a long time coming. It's been, 2 months now since my trip to Japan and Korea, and a lot of my friends, mutuals, followers on Instagram and TikTok have been asking if I could please make like a reflection video, kind of like processing or reflecting back on my experience in Japan and Korea. I've even specifically gotten requests from my other mutuals that are also Black asking what my experience was like as a Black person in those countries. And so first off, just want to say that overall I had a very positive experience. But yeah, I would love to share kind of a lot of my experience with you all, and yeah, I'll get into the specifics of being Black in Japan and being Black in Korea and what that was like for me. So overall, man, Japan and Korea both were such fantastic places to visit. I could not have picked two better destinations for my first international trip. I've never left the US before, and so I really was excited and looking forward to this. I had made a promise with my best friend, who is from Japan, that my first international trip would be visiting her in Japan. Originally, that was supposed to happen in 2020. We were planning it since 2016? Like, oh yeah, when we graduate, I'm gonna go the year after I graduate. So, the pandemic happened, that didn't really work out. So as soon as I heard that Japan's borders were open, I was like, all right, I got my money saved up. It's been here since 2020. Boom. And I booked a multi-city trip. So I booked at the same time my flights to Japan as well as Korea. Definitely if you're planning on doing like a double trip, I would recommend booking at the same time because it usually does end up being cheaper. At least that's what it looked like for me when I was booking, because I did contemplate booking two separate trips, but overall it was a lot cheaper to just do it in one go. Now, let's see. I definitely would love to hear other people's experience who maybe went to more popular cities for foreigners to travel to in Japan, like Tokyo, for example. A lot of foreigners will visit Tokyo when they go to Japan. I did not visit Tokyo. I had a layover in Tokyo, and so while I was in the airport, there was a lot of English speakers. All of the signs were in Japanese and English, so any foreigners that were traveling that understood English were able to kind of navigate the airport fairly easily. I will say there was a couple of language barrier breakdowns between me and some of the airport staff, which again is nobody's fault. I can't go to a foreign country and expect people to speak my language. And so, admittedly, I did not study a lot of Japanese prior to my trip. I was just kind of banking on my friend being able to translate for me, which she did while I was with her. But during my layover, I missed my connecting flight, which was not my fault. So my first flight was delayed, which then inevitably backed up the time that I would have to be arriving to customs, get through customs, recheck my bags, and then by the time I got to my gate, they had just closed the gate 4 minutes prior to me getting there. So I literally had a mental breakdown. I was crying because I was like, I can't. What do you want me to do? Am I supposed to stay in a hotel? I can't read anything outside. The airport is one thing, but to go out into the actual real world in a foreign country where I don't know the language, I was panicking. And they were like, we'll try to rebook you. So when I got to the counter, because they directed me which counter to go to, that staff member didn't speak a lot of English. It was hard to get her to understand that I was trying to say I needed to rebook my flight for any time available that day. We tried using Google Translate and we both were just like, huh? Like we were like, she typed something and then the English translation, I was like, wait, what? And then I tried typing something in English to translate into Japanese and she was like, that does not make sense. I'm like, hold on a second, I have a friend. So I called my friend Nami, who I was going to be staying with in Japan, and she was able to communicate with the lady at the desk, and they were able to rebook me for an hour later. Thank God. Like I was like, Jesus, thank you, because I was literally so scared. And so got rebooked, got to Japan. I was with my bestie. It was so much fun. So like I said, I did not go to Tokyo. I did not go to a popular city for foreign travelers. And it's not to say that travelers don't ever visit those places, because maybe like once or twice I did see some non-Japanese people. I saw what I perceived as Americans, or just some people from somewhere in the West. And so like once or twice I saw that, but the majority of the people around were either Japanese or from other neighboring Asian countries that were visiting as well, or could have lived there. I will say that in Fukuoka, I did get a lot of stares, mostly from older people. I don't want to say that it was malicious in intent. I think that they genuinely were just confused, because like I said, Fukuoka is not really, to my knowledge, a popular like hotspot for tourists. So they probably were just like, how did you find this city? Like, and then they would see that I was with a Japanese person, my friend, and they'd be like, oh, they're probably friends. So I would kind of like see people's thought process. Like they were very expressive, and they'd be looking at me like, and then they'd look over at Nami and be like, then back at me and be like, oh, okay. So that was interesting. You know, it was a little weird. I learned that some older generations in Japan don't really have a positive connotation associated with darker skin. Thankfully, I didn't encounter any negative interactions myself, but I did learn that that could potentially be a possibility. But again, thankfully, that wasn't my experience. Nobody treated me poorly. Nobody said anything out of pocket or anything like that. We went to karaoke one night. That was really fun. We actually went multiple times, but one of the nights that we went to karaoke, there was an older woman there. Like she was probably like late 60s, creeping to 70s. And she straight up came up to me and touched my hair. I had it in braids at the time. She touched my hair and she touched my face. She was smiling. So I was like, she's probably not saying anything rude, but this is still weird. And she's just like saying a bunch of stuff in Japanese, smiling so hard, like cheesing from ear to ear. And I'm like, what is she saying? And then my friend Nami was like, oh, she said that you're really, really pretty. She really likes your hair. Like, so she was just complimenting me. And I was like, oh, tell her thank you and to let go of me. And she did. I mean, it was just a sweet old lady, but still, I was like, girl, no. Could you imagine if I just put my fingers up in your hair? Them gray curls? I'm half sure that was a wig. Anyway, it was weird, but you know, again, it wasn't like malicious. It was just, she wasn't used to seeing somebody like me there. That was really the only interaction where somebody like touched me, and it was cringy, it was weird, but I went in mentally preparing like somebody's gonna try and touch my hair. Now my face, I was shocked about that. I was like, girl, you you just straight up touching faces? All right. It was interesting, but again, that was the only time that happened. Anytime after that I like noticed any like weird attention, it was really just people like staring at me, trying to like understand like how on earth I found Fukuoka or what brought me to Fukuoka. That's the confused look that I gathered from people's faces. Overall though, there was a lot of nice people as well. Like I went to the store. There's a clip on my TikTok I went to the store, and I think it was just like a gas station or like a 7-Eleven or something like that, or a convenience store. And while I was in there, I saw like some little trinkets that I could get as souvenirs for some of my friends. And so I was checking out, and this old man, probably older than the lady who touched my hair. And he was like, he said something along the lines of like, your hair is very nice. And I was like, oh, thank you. Found these keychains, but excuse me. I found these keychains, but they're random. Hello.
Hello, wonderful hero.
Oh, thank you. I got the It was just like, out of the context of it was just funny because like he kind of just like did it out, he said it out of nowhere and it just like caught me off guard. So it was like a pleasant surprise. It was just a funny interaction. I was glad about that. I met my friend's grandma and in her house it was kind of like the traditional setup where it's like the lower tables and you like sit on the floor or like on a pillow on the floor, so not chairs. And so I just assumed the sitting position on the ground, and she was like so unbelievably amazed at the fact that I sat. Like, I don't know, it was funny. Like, she didn't expect Americans to like understand the concept of sitting on the ground versus like sitting at a chair. And so my friend was just like, oh, she's shocked that you knew how to sit. And I was like, oh, that's so funny. So overall, my interactions were cool. The food in Japan was so good. Those of you who know me know that I'm a sushi fan, so you already knew I was about it. I was about that. And wow, I really felt when I was in Japan that I somehow re-tasted salmon for the first time. There is no salmon that can ever compare. No salmon sushi that can ever compare to the salmon sushi that I had in Fukuoka, Japan. We went to a pretty well-renowned fish market in Fukuoka. That's where I saw other foreigners. So that specific spot, that location in Fukuoka is pretty well known amongst travelers anyway. So I was very excited to be able to experience that. And the fish was just so good. The fish was fishing. The sushi was sushiing. That's all I can say. I tried a lot of different things. You know, check out my vlogs, you'll see. But I had salmon, of course, tuna. I actually don't typically like tuna sushi, specifically. I don't know. I guess it's just the way that they make it here in America. There's just something about the taste that's off. But in Fukuoka, that tuna sushi really hit. It really did. And I tried pufferfish, which apparently is poisonous. So they have to really know what they're doing to remove the poison. And honestly, I probably wouldn't eat it again. One, because of the risk. Two, because the taste was fine, but I really did not like the texture. It was like hard, chewy at this. It was like tough, chewy but tough, and I don't like that. I'm like, what's in my mouth? I don't like it. No, it kind of felt like I was chewing like rubber. Like, you know, like when you're a kid and you just like put like any toy in your mouth and chew on it, like when you're a kid and like you're teething or whatever. That's kind of what it felt like. And I was like, I don't know, but it did taste good. So it's a shame that like the texture threw me off, because I'm a big texture person. Certain textures I just like can't. But yeah, it was cool. It was a cool experience. I got to peek at the shopping scene a little bit. I went in understanding that I probably wasn't gonna find a lot of clothes my size, and not much to my surprise, I was correct. Yeah, I didn't buy any clothes in Japan because all the sizes were pretty small. The extra larges were probably like an American medium, and I'm an extra large in US sizes. So I was like, yeah, it's not working out. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to buy cute clothes in Japan. I saw a lot of cute stuff. So if you're a smaller size and you are in Japan, you're gonna have a lot of fun because they have a lot of cute fashion over there. Unfortunately, I didn't really find much that was my size. other than in the men's section, and it wasn't what I was looking for. So yeah, overall, I felt super safe when I was in Japan. Like my friend and I, we were walking places at night, and I never once felt like, oh my God, somebody's gonna like pop up from around the corner or like a dark alley and attack us or anything like that. I felt very, very peaceful, very, very safe. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. And the most memorable thing is them dang hot springs. So we went to a hot spring, and I didn't really realize prior till arriving to Japan, and then like we talked about like what we're gonna do each day, and we were talking about the hot spring, and she's like, yeah, you know that you have to be naked in the hot spring, right? And I was like, I can't, no. So I ended up going into a private hot spring room and experiencing it that way. I know it's not the traditional way, and you know, if you are more open to that, then by all means, I definitely recommend you trying it. It's definitely worth the experience. The water is so calming, it's so warm. I mean, it's hot. And I felt my skin being purified before my very eyes. Like it felt softer, my pores felt cleansed. Definitely a great experience. And as my friend, you know, said to kind of ease my nerves, she's like, nobody's looking at you, like they're minding their own business. Me personally, I can't be naked in front of people. It's just like, I can't do it. But to her point, it is just like a cultural thing. And so definitely embrace it if you're able to, and check it out if you're interested. They of course separate genders. So there's like a female hot spring and a male hot spring. So there's never gonna be a situation where you're in the hot springs and there's like men around. So don't worry about that. And they have towels for modesty, okay? So you're not just like walking out of the locker room naked or something like that. You cover up in a towel, and then you take it off and get in the water, and you just kind of like submerge shoulder below in water. So like, it's all very modest. It's just like, even like the 2 seconds of me like taking off my towel, I was like, I don't know if I can do that in front of people. So I decided to go the private hot spring route. But if you wanna have more of a traditional experience, then you can do the open hot spring area. Yeah, that was Japan. It was really, really cool. I would definitely go back. I don't know when, but it's definitely one of my top favorite places I've ever been. Mind you, the only other places I've been have been in America, so I'm not a well-traveled girly yet, but it is a dream of mine to travel more. And I just know that Japan is gonna stay up there. Korea. So Korea was super cool as well. I went to 2 cities. I went to Seoul first and then Yongin. So in Seoul, we stayed in an Airbnb for like, I wanna say like 4 days or something like that. And so pretty much every day we were walking. We walked so much. I probably lost like at least 10 pounds from that Korea trip because we were walking. Granted, we walked a lot in Japan too, but my girl Nami, she drove us to most of the places that we were going to. So the only time that we walked is when it was like a 5-minute walk. But in Korea, we would like either take the subway or get dropped off, and we would be walking distances and distances. We went to a couple of different palaces. One of the palaces, we got to rent hanboks and wear them. So that was a really cool exchange of cultures. So I got to learn about this palace. My friend Sohyun that I was staying with, she knows a lot of random facts about history. And so she was explaining a lot of different things to me about the different palaces that we visited. And the first one we went to, the Gyeongbok Palace, that's where we wore the hanboks, which is a traditional garment in Korea. If you're wearing a hanbok, you can get into the Gyeongbok Palace for free. That was really cool. I met another foreign girl. She was from Germany and I'm from America, And it was so funny because when you're going into the hanbok rental place, you basically walk up, and it was like a one-woman show. This girl was killing the game. There were so many people in there, and she was like, come in, pick a top, pick a bottom, let me know when you're ready. Once you're ready, you would go to her, she'd take you into like this like curtain, and she'd tell you, okay, like take off your top, you can leave on your pants and your bottoms. You can wear a tank top or like your bra. And so she would like have you put on the thing, you put on the bottom piece, and then she's like wrapping you up, she's tying the thing, and she like does it so fast. Like it's just like you blinked and like she's like completely dressed you in like less than 15 seconds. I'm just like, what just happened? So you get the hanbok, and then there's like an accessory station, so you can pick little like hair clips. She'll braid your hair, and she'll put the accessories in there. So she did that. My hair was already like in like literal braids. So she didn't really do much to my hair, but she was like, let me put something in your hair. So she like put some butterfly clips in my hair. It was a flower clip in my hair. And then in the other room, they have like a big mirror so you can kind of see yourself. And then they have little handbags that you can also take with you. And so most people will try to find a matching handbag. And I was looking for a handbag, and my friends were with me too, Sohyun and Diane. And then here comes this other girl. She's from Germany, but she spoke English because she assumed that I spoke English, and she assumed correctly. And she was like, excuse me, no one really told me what to do. Like, can you tell me what I'm supposed to do first? And I was like, hey girl, yeah, you just gotta go and pick whatever top and whatever bottom you want, and then go to the lady in the white t-shirt. And then once you're done, you can come here and pick a thing. So she came back, and we were literally wearing like the same combination, top and bottom. Like we were wearing pretty much the same hanbok, and then she ended up picking the same bag. And I was like, you have good taste. So we exchanged Instagrams. It was really cute. So right off the bat, I will say in Seoul, there was a lot more foreigners than from what I experienced in Fukuoka, Japan. That was a really cute moment. There was another moment where Sohyun and I were walking somewhere in Seoul, and there was like a crowd of people like trying to see something, and there was music playing. To me, it seemed pretty obvious that there was some sort of like K-pop cover happening, like people were dancing. But I couldn't see that because there were so many people, and I'm relatively short. I'm only like 5'4" and a half. But me and Sohyun were trying to see, and then there's a guy in front of me, and he had his hood up, so like I didn't see like what he looked like at the time. And then Sohyun was like, can you see what's happening? I was like, no. And then this guy turns around, he looks so disappointed, and like I laughed at his expression, and then I like did a double take and realized that like he was also black, and he did a double take, and he was looking at me and I was looking at him, and I was like, it was like literally the Spider-Man meme where they're just like, and he was like, wait, why are you laughing? And I was like, cause you look so disappointed. And he's like, well, yeah, cause I thought that something cool was happening, but they're just dancing. I was like, dancing is cool, but whatever. So it was just funny. Going into like visiting a homogenous country, I'm not sure what to expect as far as like seeing other foreigners. So one, I wasn't really expecting to see a lot of other foreigners, and two, I definitely wasn't expecting to see other black foreigners. So I was just like, whoa, that was crazy. And he even was like, it was nice talking to you. He was like, people don't really talk a lot here, which is so true. I realized that it's not really common to like talk to strangers as much as it is in the US. I even was asking my friend Sohyun, I was like, is it common to like compliment random girls that you see, like if you like their outfit or something like that? Because you know how in America you'll just like see some random girly that you don't know walking, but she has the baddest outfit out there, and you have to tell her, like, you're like, that, I love your outfit, that is so cute. Or like, oh my gosh, you look amazing, I love those shoes, love your hair, whatever. People are not doing that in Korea. Like, she was like, no, it's not common. She said it's not common, and they'll look at you like you're crazy. So I was like, noted. So I literally was like holding myself back on so many different occasions because there were so many people with so many cute outfits. And I didn't really compliment people. And then one time I saw this girl who was not Korean. She seemed like she was also from America. And I was like, oh my God, I love your outfit. I just had to blurt it out. And she was like, oh my God, I love yours too. And she's like, oh my God, it feels so weird because people don't do that here. I'm like, I know. And she actually turned out to be like British or something because she definitely had a British accent, but still. It was just so funny because like she was thinking the same thing. She was like, finally, somebody. So that was funny. Definitely like a culture shock, if you will, that like people don't often like engage with strangers, even in like a friendly context. People just pretty much mind their business, which honestly is kind of nice. But I would like to compliment people here and there. Like I like to compliment people. I like to hype people up. So it was a weird culture shock, but like I got over it. The food was fooding. Oh my gosh. First of all, girl, Sohyun took me to every possible spicy food known to man. I was like, girl, please. My allergies are running crazy. So my throat was a little bothered. And spicy food really doesn't sit well with a sore throat. I usually am really good about eating spicy food, but like when your throat is sore and you're sneezing and coughing, I'm just like, this is not fun. It was fun. It tasted great, but I was like struggling. We had tteokbokki. We had, I cannot for the life of me remember the Korean name, but we had like little like spicy squid, spicy rice, like everything was spicy. Everything was spicy. And it was delicious. We got to go and eat along the Han River. That was really, really cool. And I got to meet up with like several of my friends from college. They were all international students at my school back in Ohio. And we all at some point like had crossed paths and become friends during college. And so some of them I haven't seen in like 6 years. Sohyun was my most recent friend from college. She was my roommate in grad school. And that school year ended in 2019. So the last time that I had seen her was 2019. So it was just really, it was a really wholesome moment. I even met one of my conversation partners from the school that I work at, and she also was from Korea. So she met up with us. So most of my friends and my conversation partner, like none of them had met. Some of them had met each other, and they all met together to reunite with me, and it was just like a really wholesome experience, and a lot of them now are friends. So it was really cool. I love seeing my friends become friends with each other, you know? So it was just a really great moment. There's photo booths literally everywhere, and I love it. I love it so much. You know, like in America, when you go to the mall and you go to those photo booths, they have like the 4-cut or whatever, the 3-cut, 2-cut, 6-cut. You take it, you know, you do your like different poses for each frame, and then they print out one copy, and then you and your friend or friends or partner have to fight over who gets the copy. In Korea, in South Korea, you can print multiple copies for one. For two, it comes with a QR code which you can scan and then digitally download not only the picture, a digital copy of the picture, but also the videos of you preparing for the picture. So you get this cute little video time lapse of you like figuring out how you're gonna pose, and it is the cutest thing ever. The cutest thing ever. And I really need America to step up their game. And both Japan and South Korea had these little charging stations any and everywhere. They had them in the mall, in the gas stations, random stores, at the Han River. And you can download an app, and then you can take one of the chargers, you pay for it by the hour, and then you can plug in this portable charger to your phone and charge it on the go, and then you can just return it at any other station, and the app will like show you the locations where you can return it. So you don't have to like go all the way back to where you picked it up from. You can just find another location that has a charging station. We need those. We need to get those immediately, everywhere. Thank you. Another funny thing when I was in Korea is that like, on the contrary, I said that a lot of people don't like commonly like stop you on the street, say that your outfit is cute, whatever. But when I was in restaurants, like when I was sitting down somewhere, or when we were interacting with like cashiers or things like that, who typically were like more like middle-aged, they were complimenting me. I got a lot of different compliments on my nose and my eyes specifically. Some people just said I looked pretty, but a lot of people were like, you have a really nice nose, or wow, you have really lovely eyes. And one lady even said that I looked like a doll. I was like, wow, thank you. So yeah, that was really interesting. I learned that plastic surgery is pretty common in South Korea, and a lot of people get nose jobs or get things done to their eyes to enlarge them, which is so interesting to me because I just feel like no matter where you are, everybody always wants what they don't have, you know? Like, oh, if you're skinny, you want to be thicker. Or if you have small lips, you want fuller lips, something like that. And I'm just like, honestly, like everybody is beautiful in their own way. Like as corny as it sounds, like the way that you are built is like, in my opinion, like the way that you were meant to be built, and you should just own it. At the same time though, like if you want to get work done, you have that right and you own that too. It just makes me sad because my friends were saying that like some people don't like their nose or their eyes and they want to look more Western. I'm just like, but you don't need to look Western to be beautiful. And they were just explaining that like basically the beauty standards over there are just like really, really harsh. So it made me sad that like people feel so much pressure to change their appearance. But to each their own, and you know, if they got the money and they want to do it, like it's your body, you can do whatever you want, and it's your money too. So yeah, that was definitely interesting. You know, like saying that I look pretty and saying I look like a doll is nice, but like the specific comments about the nose and the eyes was just like so funny to me. Like I was just like, but you also have a nice nose and you also have very nice eyes. So I don't know, it was weird. Overall, I would say it was really fun. When we went to Yongin, when we left the Airbnb and then went to her hometown in Yongin, we stayed with her parents. So that was really cool to get to experience like living with a family in Korea. I felt like an exchange student for like a week. It was fun. They love to cook. Hanguki Oma, she was making all kinds of food. Oh, the kimbap that she made, it ate. I wanted to take some home. She gave me so many snacks to take home, a lot of traditional snacks. I just made a video tasting them with my sister, so definitely check that out. She gave me lots of goodies, and yeah, it was really fun. And lastly, my last reflection is that we went to the theme park or amusement park called Everland in Yongin, and in my opinion, it was better than Disney. Check out my vlog about Everland. It was better than Disney. First of all, there was not really crazy long wait times. The crowd control was great, you know, like it wasn't like chaos all over the place. They have a really cute system where you can rent and borrow outfits, like uniforms, so that you and your friends or you and your partner, you and whomever you're going with can match. So me and Sohyun wore really cute matching schoolgirl outfits. They have tons of photo ops. The rides are great, pretty much like carnival rides, but the parade was so lit. It was insane. They had people dancing all day, it felt like. They were dancing their butts off. The staff was dancing. Obviously, the dancers in the parade were dancing. There were guests dancing along. The crowd was so hype. It went on for days, it felt like. And it just like kept pulling me in. I was like, this is crazy. Like just when you think it couldn't get any better, there's people doing backflips, there's people on stilts. And then the fireworks, I'm sorry, they ate Disney up. They really did. They ate the Disney theme parks up. I have never seen fireworks like that in my life. I know I keep plugging my videos, but go look at my vlog about going to Everland. It was nuts. That's all that I can think of the top of my head. Overall, I would say that Korea was pretty foreigner friendly. I didn't really get a lot of weird looks in Korea, not in Seoul or in Yongin. So overall, I think that it was just fine in Korea. Like I said, if anything, I got like a lot of compliments. Everybody respected my space. Nobody tried to touch me or like say anything weird. Yeah, it was a cool experience. And again, I would definitely go back to Korea as well. South Korea was definitely an amazing place to visit. So Both places I highly recommend going. If you have questions or wonder what the process is like to prepare, I made a vlog about that as well, so definitely check that out. There's some online forms and things like that that you have to fill out, but honestly, pretty doable, pretty easy. You just kind of have to like bear with it and fill it all out. So thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have a rad day. Bye-bye.